Bree, do you know any good real estate agencies? If you do, I'd be so happy if you'd introduce me.
A real estate agency? I'm sorry, I don't know of any.
Really? Oh, but the company you were working at before you married my son was also involved in property, wasn't it? Then you must know somebody. Can't you introduce me to someone who'd be willing to help me?
I'm afraid my company doesn't deal in property. We just have a child company that is in real estate. My work had nothing to do with real estate, so I really don't know anyone. I'm afraid I don't think I can help you.
Oh, then can't you introduce me to someone from that child company? Even if it's just one agent. You should be allowed a discount if you're from their parent company, shouldn't you? So it would be a great help if you would introduce me to someone.
I don't mean to be rude, but why are you looking for a real estate agency, Charlie? Are you planning on moving house?
I want to buy a house that's big enough for us all to live in. Matthew and I decided that I should move in with you both. I'm looking forward to it, but first I've got to find a place that meets my standards, and it would be wonderful if we could get a discount through your introduction, too.
What? Matthew agreed to that, but I haven't heard anything about that.
Of course you haven't. You don't have any say in the matter. My son and I decided it, so you just have to obey our orders.
But I'm his wife. Don't I deserve to share my opinion on where I want to live? Matthew never even mentioned that he wanted you to move in with us this soon. Why would you talk about something so important without me present?
Why should we have to ask for your permission? We decided it, and that's that. Besides, it's only a matter of course that a mother goes to live with her son and his wife if she's living on her own. It's your duty to take care of me. You should have known that this day would come sooner or later, and that you would both have to take care of me in old age.
Well, yes, I was aware that it would come someday, but I thought that I would have been given some choice in the matter. You didn't even care to ask if I wanted to move house. I'm a part of this family too, so don't I get to have a say? I wish that you would have told me sooner. I think that that's the least you could have done.
Excuse me? You may have been working before you married Matthew, and it seems that you earned quite a salary too, but that means nothing now that you're unemployed. You're worthless. Oh, you're just a parasite eating through my son's salary. You don't have any right to an opinion when you're not the one that's putting food on the table.
I should probably make it clear that I'm not unemployed. I'm not going to the office because I'm taking time to focus on getting pregnant. I still have a position at the company, and I can return whenever I'm ready.
But you don't receive any salary while you're on leave, do you? You're not bringing anything into the house, and you're just lying about doing nothing, aren't you? It would have been better if you were actually pregnant and on paid maternity leave, but you're not, which means that you're unemployed and that you're just an extra weight that my son has to bear. And you're saying that you're focused on getting pregnant, but how long has it been since you went on leave? You haven't gotten pregnant at all.
I'm sorry about that. All I can say is that I'm trying my best. I don't think that it would be this difficult either, but I know that it's no good stressing myself out by giving myself a deadline to be pregnant by.
But if you don't hurry up and get pregnant soon, you'll just have wasted my son's time and money, and your colleagues will just think that you're slacking off. I am doing my best to earn some money by working a part-time job, but look at you. You're nothing. That's why you have no right to complain about what we decide. You're not working, and you have nothing to do all day, so you might as well help us search for a house.
What? You want me to look for a new house for you? I don't know if I can find a house that you'd like.
Yes, of course, we're the ones that will be attending the showings. We can't let you choose a house with your poor taste. But I'm not bothered to deal with all the documents and things, so I'll leave you to find the best real estate agency. You have plenty of time on your hands, so it's the least you can do. Anyway, it's already been decided that I'm going to move in with you two, and nothing will change that. You've got to find us a place where we can all live comfortably. I need a lot of space for all my things, too.
All right. If you're really sure, I'll do my best. I'll ask a friend if they know of any good real estate agencies, but I can't promise that we'll be able to get a discount.
I'm glad to hear that you're willing to help me. I'm leaving it all up to you, Marnie. Don't mess it up. I'll send you a list of all the conditions my son and I have for the new house. There's a lot, but it's very important that you follow every single one. You should be thankful that I'm giving you this task to do. It means that I still think that there's use for you in this house. Otherwise, you're just an unemployed, lazy waste of space in my son's house.
Charlie, Did you see the documents I sent you yesterday? Those are all of the properties I think are closest to what you said you were looking for. What do you think?
No, it's no good at all. They're all nowhere near what I want. Have you even looked at them properly? They may be big enough, but the buildings are far too old. Flash floods, earthquakes, typhoons. None of the houses you found will be able to withstand those kinds of disasters. They'll fall apart like a house of cards.
But a lot of the houses I've got here have undergone a lot of renovations, and they're in much better shape than other properties I've looked at.
Even if they've been renovated, they're still old on the inside. The foundation is what's important. I'm not convinced. You'll just have to look for some other properties. Go and find something else and actually read the conditions we've given you.
Okay. Then what about the house we all went to visit the other week? I told the agent that you wanted to put it on hold, but it's already been a while. They came back to me and said that they want us to make a decision about whether we want the house or not. Otherwise, they'll have to put it back on the market.
Tell them that we want to keep it on hold until we find something better.
It's probably best that we don't prolong it. The early bird gets the worm, after all. If we wait for too long, we'll lose the best house we found so far.
Oh, will you just shut up and tell them that they've got to wait? I've had enough of your incessant whining. I don't want to have to compromise when there could be something better. It might be the best property so far, but it's still got a lot of downsides. Its location, for example, it's much too far from the city.
We can't keep the real estate agent waiting for much longer. That's just how searching for property works. The faster we make an offer for the house, the more of an advantage we have.
Then you better hurry up and find a house that matches all the conditions we want and has a great location. Preferably something with a better price on it, too. We don't want to have to pay a fortune after all.
I've been searching every single day these past couple of months, but you've got too many conditions you want to fulfill. You've got to compromise somewhere. Otherwise, you'll just be disappointed by every next best thing, and you'll never find a house you want to buy. And it's hard enough trying to find a place with the space you're looking for.
I wonder if it'll be better to build our own home after all. But if we do that, it'll take far too long before we can move in. We've got to look for the right patch of land for us, too. Oh, just thinking about how long that will take is already exhausting. You've got to find us a house before it's time for me to renew my contract for this apartment I'm currently living in, or I'll have to pay a fortune to cancel the contract if you're too late.
I have a feeling that it'll be much faster to build a new house from scratch if you got that many requests for the house you want. If you can't make up your mind in time, then why don't you just move in with us after ending the contract with your current landlord? We've got a guest room, and there's plenty of room for you here.
Absolutely not. I refuse to live in such a tiny apartment. I can already imagine just how cramped it will be with all three of us there. And I don't want to have to go through moving that frequently in such a short time. It's such an inconvenience. I'll be wasting my money on hiring a moving company to transport all of my things.
Then what do you think about this? You can choose a house you like with the best location, and then just have some renovations done on the aspects of the house you don't really like. If we find something soon, we can have it renovated before we move in, and we'll be in the house faster than it would be to build a brand new one.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I didn't think of that. We could do that. Then, all right, I'll compromise on the areas that can be dealt with afterwards with renovations. But, that being said, nothing can be done about houses that are too old and are in a bad location, so I don't plan on compromising on either of those things. I want a house that was built fairly recently, and it's got to be situated in a lovely neighborhood, but I need access to the city.
Of course, I'll keep that in mind. I'll talk to the real estate agent and see if they've got anything in mind. I'll organize all of the information we've got for all of the properties we've looked at up until now, too.
You better get it done quickly. You don't have all the time in the world, you know. If you take your time, someone else will take the perfect property before we even have the chance to view it.
Hi, Charlie. What did you think about the property we saw today? It looks like my husband's taken a liking to it, and I guess we're just waiting for your call. What do you say?
I like it too. I think it's the best property you've presented to us so far. I don't really like the bath and toilet, but we can get that fixed with a remodel, can't we? If we can change that, then I think that I can really see myself living there.
I've already asked the real estate agent about that. He said that the renovation should be done within 2 weeks. We just have to put in an offer down, and we can get started on talking to a renovator about what we want to change.
Well, then it's decided. I want it. You can let the real estate agent know that we're putting out an offer on it.
The only problem is that we're going well over the budget we initially set. Is that okay? Or do you want to find a place that's more within your reach?
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to worry about me. We were planning on making you pay for everything either way.
What?
You've got a mountain of money saved from when you were still single, don't you? My son told me everything. He said you could afford the house and more.
Wait a minute. Are you seriously trying to make me pay for the entire house and renovations all on my own?
Yes, so I don't see what the problem is. You're not employed right now. You're just a useless, unemployed piece of crap. The least you can do is pay for our new house. All you've done up until now is suck my son dry for all the food you eat and the clothes you wear. You owe him this much.
A piece of crap? That's what you think of me? How hard do you think I worked to find a property that you would like? I spent hour after hour on websites, on the phone, looking for the perfect house. I was the middleman between you and the real estate agent and filled in all of the paperwork and researched all of the houses that didn't have enough information put up on the websites. You ordered me to look up everything about the houses you liked the look of.
So what? Do you really think that means that you've actually done something for this family? Please, that's not nearly enough. You've got a lot of nerve to think that, Marie. But if you offer to use your savings to pay for the new house, then maybe I'll think about giving you credit for it.
You're kidding, right? That's way too unreasonable. Why do I have to pay for everything alone?
My son was saying that you're a useless wife, too. He complained that you haven't gotten pregnant at all after all this time, and that you're just dead weight because you haven't been working at all.
Did he really say that? I can't believe it. Well, now that I think about it, his attitude towards me has gotten pretty bad over the past few months.
If you want us to accept you into the family, you'll have to hand over your savings. You've got no other choice if you want to be worthy of my son.
How is the new house? It's been a while since you moved in ahead of us. Did you like the bathroom? I hope it turned out the way you wanted.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's so lovely to have so much space. The veranda's so spacious, and there's a lovely view of the city. We get good sunshine for the entire day, too. It's the perfect house to spend the rest of my life in. I don't plan on dying soon, but I'm glad I can spend my final years in such a lovely house.
I'm glad you like it. It was worth all the trouble I went through to have it renovated, and all the time I spent going through all those property sites. For a while, I was actually worried that I would never find the place you wanted, but it looks like we finally made it. I can't wait to start living there, too.
Oh, Marie, about that. I don't want you coming here.
Excuse me?
I'm saying that I don't want you coming to this house. It's mine. Oh, but Matthew's coming to move in with me. He's more than welcome to come and stay in this lovely house with me. You're not.
What are you talking about? You can't be serious. We all decided weeks ago that we would move in with you tomorrow. We've already got all of our things packed. My stuff is in those boxes too.
Well, you're not welcome here. There's no place for you in such a beautiful house like this. By the way, there's no use begging my son to side with you. He feels the same way I do about having you here with us. He told me that he can't see himself living happily with you here.
I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean? Why don't you want me to live with you both?
We decided that it was about time we got rid of the parasite that had latched itself onto my son and chased you out of the house. Matthew's already found another woman who's going to be his wife, and he doesn't need you around anymore. You're just going to be in the way. It means that we have no use for you anymore.
Another woman? Do you mean that he was cheating on me? And you were actually aware of that and didn't tell me?
Aware of it? Oh, Marie, I was the one who told him he should find someone else. I encouraged him.
Why would you do that? If Matthew has some issue with our marriage, he should say it to my face.
What's the point? Saying it won't change anything. You don't work and you can't even get pregnant. We don't need someone like you in our family. My son deserves much more than that. But it would be troublesome for you if we suddenly announced that we were kicking you out, wouldn't it? If you need some time to look for a new job and a new apartment, then we don't mind keeping you on as a maid. What do you think?
Are you really asking me to come work as a maid in the house where you plan to welcome Matthew's wife?
Yes, isn't that kind of us? At least we're not going to kick you out onto the streets. I'll hire you as long as you don't talk to my son ever again. But I'm only willing to pay you $1 an hour. What do you say?
Charlie, do you know what director compensation is?
Huh? What is that? What kind of compensation is that?
You're right that I'm not receiving a salary. At least, not the normal kind. But I'm not unemployed, and I'm not being a parasite. Even though I'm not going to the office every business day, I'm still receiving something called a director compensation.
What? You're getting money from your company even though you're not working? What's that supposed to mean? Why would they do that, even though you're not going to work?
It's actually pretty complicated in reality. But to put things simply, it's compensation that's paid to company officers who are part of the board. I may not be going to the office, but I'm still a part of the board, and therefore, I receive a monthly payment as compensation for my activities as a board member every single month. I still have a lot of work I have to complete from home as a board member. So, like I told you, I'm not unemployed. I believe I told Matthew that I'm working from home sometimes. Didn't he tell you that? If he hasn't told you, then I guess it was too difficult for him to understand. Honestly, why does he think I've been spending so much time in my office when I'm at home?
Wait a minute. I can't keep up with your explanation. You said that it's compensation that company officers receive? Are you telling the truth? Were you really a member of the board this entire time?
That's right, Charlie. Thanks to that, I've been receiving a rather large amount of money every month. I even bought the house you moved into with that money, since I didn't want to use my savings.
What? You managed to afford this house with your director compensation? How much are you getting paid every month?
I don't like to brag, but it's well over $20,000 most months. It's a lot more than what I get paid for my usual salary.
What? You were earning that much and you never said anything to us? You never mentioned getting promoted to a position like that. Since when have you been a part of the board?
I told Matthew a long time ago, but I didn't tell him exactly how much I was earning. I told him that I was earning less on purpose.
Why did you lie to us like that? If you had been more honest about what you were earning, I wouldn't have had to call you out for not working enough. In the first place, you can't hide things from your husband. A marriage should be based on trust, not on deceit.
I had no choice. Matthew had been lying to me about how much he was spending. He has a really bad habit of overspending and using money recklessly. If he knew exactly how much I was saving, he would have been over the moon, and he would have gotten it into his head that he could spend however much he wanted without having to worry about the bills or our loans. That's why I told him that I was earning less than I really was, and I put most of the money into my savings account and into investments I made in the past.
Then you're still earning a fortune even now? While you're on leave? I can't believe it.
You'll just have to believe it. And I don't need the job you're offering me. I'll do fine without the both of you. Oh, and I should thank you for letting me know about Matthew's affair. I'm so grateful that you just put yourself in a very disadvantageous position for my sake. Thank you.
Oh.
If I use his infidelity as a reason for our divorce, then I'll have the advantage when it comes to splitting up our assets. You've probably saved me having to give up part of my savings too. I'm not handing any money over to either of you, including the house you're trying to take from me.
Excuse me? Are you saying that you plan on taking this house for yourself? You can't kick us out. This house is property that belongs to both you and my son. You don't have the right.
I'll be hiring a divorce lawyer to take you both to court. I don't care how much it takes to win this case. You should probably warn his new wife too. If he thinks that she'll get away with sleeping with my husband, she's got another thing coming. I'll be demanding compensation from her too.
Marie, I'm so sorry for everything I've said to you up until now. Will you please consider seeing my son and talking over everything? He says that he'll break up with his new wife. Please, will you stay on as my son's wife? We need you in our family. Please.
What? What's with the sudden change of attitude? You were saying the complete opposite just over an hour ago. It sounds like Matthew put me and his lover on scales and decided to keep me instead of her. What a greedy man. I thought he said that I was just a waste of space because I can't have children. But now, he's choosing me? Now that he's finally found out about the money I make?
Oh, that doesn't matter. You don't have to have children to be happy. As long as you're happy together, you can overcome any obstacle. And nowadays, it's not rare for couples to not have any children. Children cost too much money, and it sounds like many couples without children enjoy married life a lot more when they can spend their time and money however they like.
That's not what you were saying before. You were the one who was calling me extra weight for not being able to get pregnant.
I wouldn't have said that if I knew that you were such an important person. I'm so sorry for being so rude to you. I didn't know, I swear. My son's apologizing too. Matthew regrets everything he said about you. But you should have told us if you were earning that much. It's not fair if you were lying to us about your work and about the money you were getting. But anyway, that doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that you are very important to us. I just want us to live happily ever after, that's all. You should come with Matthew just like we planned and we'll all live together.
No way. What makes you think that I'm going to forgive you for what you've been saying to me all this time? My husband cheated on me, didn't he? He's got to pay for that. You can't act like it never happened and expect me to join you both. You're both going to pay for how much I suffered the past few months.
It might be hard for you to tell, but we really do regret what we did, Marie. We promise that we won't ever treat you like that ever again. From now on, I promise that I'll show you much more respect. The respect you deserve for earning our family so much money. You're the breadwinner of our family, after all. We wouldn't be able to do anything without you working so hard.
Your family? I'm not earning money for you and Matthew's sake. At least not anymore. Why should I give food and shelter to the people who've been insulting me all this time? I don't owe either of you anything.
What? Oh, we never said that we want you to take care of us. You're not working alone, you know. We'll support you as much as we can. I'm working a part-time job, and Matthew's got his job. I'll make sure to use the money I earn on paying for my own clothes and for my part of the bills, of course.
Oh, really? How am I supposed to believe that after Matthew spent our entire marriage relying on me for all of the bills, groceries, and the rent? He's never helped me pay for anything because he knows that I earn more than enough to cover everything, and has spent his salary on buying everything he wants. He's never had to worry about overspending because he's always been so dependent on me. You say that you're going to pay for everything on your own, but you're just sucking up to me because you want my money, don't you?
What are you talking about? I wouldn't lie to you.
Stop playing stupid, Charlie. I already know that you're deep in debt, and that's why you started that part-time job in the first place.
What? How do you know about that?
I heard about it from a relative of yours when we had a family gathering a while back. They mentioned that your husband had made some investments before he passed away. Your relative told me that they failed, and he ended up owing a fortune.
Well, I didn't think it necessary to tell you up until now, but it's the truth. He was such a foolhardy man, my late husband. Matthew's probably taken after him in that way.
I think Matthew got that from both of you. You and your husband were very similar in that way. I heard that you both had a bad habit of overspending, and that you've ended up shouldering your husband's debt, as well as your own, now that he's gone. That's why you've continued working part-time past retirement age, haven't you?
How troublesome. Oh, I can't believe how chatty my relatives are. To think that they would gossip about me to my own daughter-in-law. But just because you heard it from my relatives first doesn't mean that I was trying to deceive you. I was going to tell you one day, I swear.
I wish you would have said something about your debt before Matthew and I had gotten married. Of course I'd feel like I was being deceived.
Oh, you're so right. I'm so sorry, Marie. I just lost the chance to mention it. It's not a very easy topic to bring up, you know.
Of course it's not easy to bring up. But it's not easy hearing about it from one of your relatives. I felt like I had been tricked from the start, like Matthew had only proposed to me because of your debt. And that's why I thought it would be best to hide how much I really earned. After I found out about your debt, I couldn't trust you when it came to money.
Oh, but this is wonderful. Now you know about our debt. We don't have any secrets between us. Now we have nothing to hide between us. We can be a real family again. What do you say? Why don't we make up and be a happy family again?
What happy family? I don't think of either of you as family anymore. Unfortunately for you guys, you're just dead weight to me, and I'm throwing you out. After that, my husband and I got divorced, and I demanded compensation from both Matthew and the woman he was cheating on me with. Because of his affair, I had the bigger advantage when it came down to splitting our assets. Thanks to that, I was able to avoid losing any of my own savings, and I could keep the house that I had spent so much money on. After that, my husband and his mother ended up having to move into a tiny apartment far away from the city and have been living together ever since. My mother-in-law didn't have any money of her own and had been spending all of her salary on paying back her debt. So my ex-husband had no choice but to pay for all of the moving fees and for the apartment they were living in. After spending all of our married life being dependent on me for money, my husband finally had to take care of the bills all on his own and must have realized just how blessed he had been when he was with me. Apparently, they were forced to become extremely frugal and had a budget how much they spent on groceries just to make sure that they could keep on paying the rent. On top of that, he had to continue paying for his parents' debt, and they both ended up suffering in poverty. My husband apparently tried making his mother work more in order to stabilize their financial situation, but as a result, his mother ended up falling ill, and he had to spend a fortune on her treatment. It looks like he got his priorities in the wrong order. As for me, I returned to work and was able to go back to the lifestyle I had when I was single. If getting married means that I have to shoulder that kind of dead weight, then I'd rather spend the rest of my life single.
Pat, are you going to be late again today?
Yeah, I have more work to get finished and it all has to be done tonight. What's going on with you?
I just wanted to talk with you about your mom.
Is this about her messing with you again? Did I not tell you before that I think she's just a little confused about you?
Well, you did, and that's what I've wanted to think about how she's treated me. But I really do think she's doing it all intentionally, and she knows it.
Why do you think that? Did she say something to you this time that confirms it?
Well, your mom came over to the house again. And when she came into the house, she threw out my cooking and then left.
What? She threw away your cooking?
Yeah. She told me that it tasted bad and that the ingredients must be spoiled. But all of those things are what I bought at the store just yesterday, so I'm not sure that could be the case. I think if anything, all the food I had cooked with was in better condition than it usually is. Better quality, I mean.
I'm so sorry about her, Deanna. If throwing away your own cooking in your house is really bad, I'll talk with her about all of this.
You don't have to talk with her about it just yet.
Why not?
She might only become worse with all of this because of you getting involved. And this might just have to do with her being a bit stressed over something lately.
I see.
Really? I'd love to know why she started to act this way towards me. We weren't ever extremely close to one another before, but I was sure we at least respected one another and were on good terms.
That's what I thought as well. Whenever you met with her, you'd both always have normal conversations together. Are you sure there wasn't something that happened that caused her to start picking on you?
I'm a bit worried right now because I don't remember anything that could have started this. Do you think I said anything wrong to her, or has she said anything to you about me?
You're talking about my mom, right? To be honest, she hasn't spoken to me much lately.
It could be anything that you've noticed with her behavior towards you. Just give me something, please.
I'm not kidding when I say that her and I don't talk that much right now. She might ask me about what I'm doing during the holidays and about if I want to go out to eat with her at all. But those have been the only things recently.
Could this be about how I'm planning on going on a vacation with you this coming holiday? I wonder if she's upset that we didn't invite her on it or something.
You think that'd be a good enough reason for her to start messing with you? If she really wanted to come along with us, then she probably would have said something to me already.
But there has to be something I did wrong that started all of this from her. I never assumed she'd be the kind of person to pick on me like she is now, Pat.
That's why I'm kind of doubting that she was ever really nice to you in the first place. Has she been acting a bit rough around you since the start? Before she started to mess with you a bunch? You can be kind of thick-headed at times, so perhaps she's always been a bit rude around you, and since you've never noticed anything, she's had to escalate things.
I wonder if that's what's going on here. But I seriously don't remember ever being treated by her in a bad way, nor ever doing anything to upset her before.
That's why I wonder if she's upset that you didn't notice yourself doing anything wrong. Normally, people don't just start to pick on others without good reason for it. I don't want to say that my mom is being a bad person right now, but saying that she's just picking on you for the fun of it makes her seem like a real monster.
Well,
I think there was something that happened that you never noticed, Deanna, and that's what all started all of this. And I guess my mom never really got over it like she should have.
I really have no idea what could have happened, though. Seriously, what did I do to her that made her this upset with me?
I don't want to tell you this is a lot, but you don't have to get all down because of this, all right? Even if you did do something she didn't like, it doesn't make you the bad person, and she's the one that's decided to escalate things and make it all worse. Just stop thinking so much about it, and I'm sure she'll get over what happened with time.
Fine.
If you feel that you can't take it anymore, just let me know. I'll make sure that she quits all that crap. And if she still doesn't, then we could just cut ties with her.
Thank you, Pat. But I'm going to think a little more about this in case there is something I can come up with. Also, without explaining any of this to her, can you ask her what she's been thinking about me?
Sure thing. Is it alright if I stop by her place on the way home from work in a few days? She has been asking me to come over and have dinner with her after all.
She wasn't asking me to come along as well, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. She told me not to invite you along for dinner. Do you want me to stay away from her instead? I'm not going to be upset by that.
No, go right ahead and have dinner with her. You might be able to figure something out about what's going on between her and I then.
Alright. Then in a few days I'll be late coming home again.
That's not a problem at all. I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time talking about all of this while you're working.
No worries. I'm going to be too tired to talk about this when I get home anyway, and we'll probably go right to sleep. So, this was a good talk to be had. Anyway, I'll be home in about 3 hours.
All right, good luck with your remaining work then. And be careful on your drive home. Pat, I can't do it anymore. I've really had it happen to me this time by your mom.
Huh? What did she do to you now? I need to know right now.
I was all relieved thinking that today your mom wouldn't be coming over to the house to see me. And so I thought it'd be a good time to leave the house and go shopping for a bit. So right as I was opening the door to leave the house, I saw that my flower bed had been devastated. There's even trash thrown all around it.
Are you talking about the flower bed off to the right side of the house that you've been raising all of your beautiful flowers in?
Yes.
Do you have evidence of my mom being the one that ruined all of them? It's not that I don't trust what you're saying or anything. It's just that anyone can get into that flower bed, even animals.
But the thing is, the spade that your mom uses all the time is still sitting in the flower bed.
Her spade? Are you talking about her favorite one with the yellow handle?
Yes. All the times I've been over to her house before, I've noticed that spade leaned up against the fence to her garden.
So there's no mistaking it was her this time then?
I don't think so, Pat. I love looking at other people's flower beds and gardens, so I was able to remember the exact spade she used. I can't confirm that this is the exact spade she had at her house, but I know for a fact that it's the exact same style.
I see. When I finish up with work today, I'll head over to her house and have a look. I want to ask her about all of this.
All right.
Are you going to be okay?
There have even been all those times she's come over and thrown my cooking away. I didn't mind too much all those times, but the fact that she's trashed my flower bed has left me feeling really bad. I just want to lay down and cry right now.
I'm sure you do want to. Even those flowers that you never thought would blossom ended up showing their colors recently, right? That was your number one hobby, raising those flowers, so this is a huge shock for the both of us.
Yeah. Why did it all have to come to this now? If she's going to take things this far, why not come up to me and tell me what the problem is?
I'm sorry. I wonder if this has something to do with me. I know you told me before not to do anything about her, but not doing anything about the way she's been treating you had bothered me. And so I told her a little while back that you had started a part-time job.
A part-time job? I'm not working any sort of job right now, though.
And that's why it's a lie. I was hoping by saying that you wouldn't be home most days anymore, she would no longer come over and mess with you.
I see. That's why these past few days she wasn't coming inside anymore.
Of course I never said anything to her about how she's been treating you poorly. I didn't want to mention anything about it and make things more worse for you than they already have been. But this has happened because of me. She probably thought she couldn't get inside the house anymore, and that's why she took her anger out on your flower bed.
Please don't feel like you're to blame, Pat. Thank you for trying to help me. Recently, I haven't seen or heard much from her, so for a little while, your plan of telling her that lie to leave me alone had been working. I was actually quite happy because of it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, you did all of that to try and help me feel better, right? Seeing that you'd lie to your own mother for me makes me so happy.
I see. Well, that's good. But what she's done this time to you will not be forgiven. If she really is the one that ended up destroying your flower bed, then I'm not going to stay quiet anymore. I'll be allowed to talk to her with all my strength in, right?
You can go right ahead. I don't want to keep trying to resist her attitude anymore either.
All right then. I'm going to be home from work again a little late today.
But if you're going to have a word with her today, then I should probably go as well, right?
I still haven't been home to have a look at the spade myself yet. So I'd like you to stay there in case she tries to run back over there and take it. Allow me to talk with her first, one-on-one, please.
Will you be all right, though? Make sure to keep your cool, okay?
I'll do my best. I'm sure I won't be feeling any better about all of this right away, but I hope me saying something to her about it would help you relax.
Well, I'll head out shopping then, and while I'm out, I guess I'll buy a bunch of new flowers to plant. I guess for a little while, I can look forward to creating a whole new flower bed.
Please do that. You need to take a break and just enjoy yourself today, all right?
Thank you, Pat. Well, I'm going to head to the store now. Do you want me to still make dinner for you, just in case?
You can make something small for me, all right? Just prepare a salad or something.
Sounds good. Well, good luck with your mom today. Gail, good morning. Do you have a few minutes to talk? Sure, why not? What's going on with you, Deanna? I wanted to talk with you about what happened yesterday. About what happened yesterday? I heard from my husband that you asked for him to divorce me, correct? Huh? You talked with him about that? Did you actually think my own husband would never talk to me about something like that his own mother asked of him? Well, listen. Are you trying to act as though you've been up to nothing this whole time? You were never this rude to me months ago, right? So why are you being a complete jerk to me all of a sudden? I heard from him that for a while you never really seemed interested in someone like me being his wife. But that does not give you any right to start picking on me or start asking him to divorce me. Hold on, Deanna. What the hell are you talking about right now? What the hell am I talking about? I'm talking about everything you've been doing to me this past month or so. This is all about how you don't like something about me or what I did, and that's why you've started to pick on me like a bully. But I want to know what you mean by all of that. I have not been messing with you, no way, no how. And when it comes to you personally, Deanna, I do like that you're my son's wife. I'm not the one trying to do anything to hurt your relationship with him. If anything, what you're doing right now is what's going to ruin things in this family. What? If you've already heard from him about how I recommended he divorce you, then I might as well tell you everything. My son Patrick, well, he knows about everything you've been up to, Deanna. He knows about everything I've been up to. You don't have to play stupid with me anymore. You have been trying to make my son take really scary medication and have been feeding him weird foods, right? Excuse me? He's told me for months now that you've been feeding him bad things and it makes him feel awful. Things like having diarrhea and getting really bad headaches because of what you give him to eat. He came to me asking for help and wanted to know what it might be that you're giving him to eat. Also, there was a time that he brought some of the food you cooked over to my house. And when I took a bite of what you made, my stomach started to ache. I haven't been making anything bad for him to eat. Is that the reason you've started coming over to my house a lot more often recently? And you were throwing away my cooking because you thought I was putting some kind of drugs in it? That's right. I hated having to throw away what could have been such good food. But I'm not going to let you feed my son things that we have no clue about. Gail, I really have not been putting anything bad into the food. I've been eating the exact same food as him this whole time. I know I don't really have a way of proving that to you right now, but Patrick has told me plenty of times now that you carry a lot of medication with you. I do happen to have a lot of vitamins that I take every day, but nothing that's any kind of medication. Especially not something I'm going to make him take either. I don't even have anything in the medicine cabinet that would be causing him to have diarrhea or anything like that. Then tell me about how you hit him. What? I'm talking about what happened about 2 months ago. You caused him to have a pretty bad gash on his head after that. He told me that you hit him in the head with something hard and heavy. Now that you mention it, there was a time when he hurt his head pretty badly. But that had nothing to do with me being the one that hit him. From what I heard from him, he said that he had a bad fall at work and that's how he got that nasty cut. What are you talking about? Gail? Well, can I ask you about what happened to my flower bed being destroyed then? Are you talking about that flower bed you put a lot of your time into caring for? That's the one. Well, I wasn't the one that destroyed it, if that's what you're trying to say. But the spade that you're always using to work in your garden was in my flower bed. I have been looking for that spade for the longest time now. You found it? I've been wanting to use that. Wait, something's not right about all of this. That's what I'm thinking. Something feels a bit off by everything that's been going on here. Deanna, I think both you and I should talk a bit more about all of this, huh? You were telling me about what happened with Patrick coming over to my house yesterday to talk to me, but I only ever called him. How about you and I figure out what's really going on here and what's gotten into my boy? Pat, I want the both of us to go separate ways. I'll be the one to leave the house, okay?
Huh? What's gotten into you, Deanna?
I think you're the one that knows best why I want to leave the house. I've had enough of you and can't take it anymore.
Have you been picked on by my mom again? I'm sorry, Deanna. I really wonder what she doesn't like about you. I'm causing all this trouble for you over something she won't even talk to us about.
That's not it this time. It never was because of her, actually. This is all your fault, right? Telling your mom lies about me to get her to not like me? What have you been wanting, Pat?
Huh? You're saying I'm the one at fault?
I talked with your mom.
You actually talked to her? I thought we talked about how you should be the last one talking to her about what's been going on, right? We knew that she would never want to talk with you, and it will only make things worse, right?
No, actually talking with her solved a lot of things for the both of us. We both realized that it's all because of you that her and I have grown so distant from one another.
I don't think you should believe anything my mom has tried to tell you. She is probably just trying to get you to cut ties with me, and that's why she wants me to seem like the one who has done all this to you. I bet she did a pretty good job at making me look like the bad guy as well.
Your mom is furious about you right now.
What?
I'm with your mom right now, so I know that for a fact. She's been at the house with me helping me get all my things together so that I can move out. And all of this talk about your mom you've been saying, she's been having a look at as well. So would you stop lying to us? You've told her plenty of times now that my cooking has caused you to have stomach aches and headaches, right?
Deanna, you have it all wrong. I was just talking with her about some things and she may have misread the situation. I've had a lot of work recently that I've had to stay late for, right? I think the stress of work has really been taking a toll on my body. I'm sorry, I should have given her more context on why it was happening.
It's far too late to be giving excuses like that. It's been a week now since I've started to talk to your mom about you, so stop trying to break out of this one. This whole week, her and I have been looking a bit deeper into you. You've been cheating on me, right?
What?
You happen to have become great friends with a coworker that's a lot younger than you, it seems. I really should have seen this coming. You thought by having your mom and I fight like this, you could get me to leave you, right? Well, nice work, because I will be leaving you, in fact, but only after I tell you how things are going to end for us. I saw that your next plan of attack to get her to hate me more was putting some detergent in the flower bed to kill my new flowers, right? And by doing so, I would blame her because this is the kind of laundry detergent that she always uses. You must really want this divorce badly then, huh?
No. You have it all wrong, Deanna.
I'm going to get a settlement from you as well as from your little girlfriend. I'm also aware that you've been going to hotels with her when you're supposed to be on business trips, and I have evidence of all that as well. I'm going to send that evidence to your company for you.
Deanna, hold on for just 1 second. I made a few mistakes, so I'm seriously sorry about all of that.
Oh, I already know you made some mistakes, and that's why I hate you now. Must have been so fun for you to look at me when I was sad about what I thought was your mom picking on me because she hated me. And when you destroyed my flower bed, how did that feel, ruining my favorite hobby? You could see that all those things were starting to get to me and your mom, and that's what made you happy about approaching the finish line, right?
I was never happy about any of that.
Well, if you weren't, then how could you have done it all? All those nice words you said to me when I was down to try and make me feel better were all lies. And while you were lying to me about how much you cared, you were working to make your mom even more upset with me. I am such an idiot for believing in someone as horrible as you, Pat.
All right, I'll break up with my coworker. So can you please stop trying to get a divorce from me?
Would you pull yourself together? Do you actually think I want to continue living with you? You lied about how I was doping you up on medication and that it was causing you to have diarrhea. You should be happy to hear that I'm leaving you now.
I'm sorry, I really messed up this time. I'll do anything you ask me to, as long as you just don't tell my company. Please, Deanna.
Well, look at that. Even now, you're more worried about yourself over anything else that could happen. At this point, all those apologies you're making sound like lies to me. So I'm going to help you finish what you started and get that divorce from you. After that, I was able to divorce my husband just like that. Also, I brought all of this up with the company he was at, and they fired both him and the coworker he was dating for both having a relationship within the company and for staying at hotels together during business trips. But it appears that I wasn't the first to recognize a lot of this, as many people at work could see him slacking off at work to be around that coworker, and would see the two of them head out a lot on business trips together, even though only one of them was asked to go. I'm sure had Pat been a decent employee within the company, they would have just cut his pay or maybe transferred him. But I'm thinking that the reason the two of them were fired is because they both brought nothing more to the company besides added weight. After that took place, Pat was told by his family that they no longer wanted any part of him, and as for his girlfriend, her family found out and forced her to come back home to them. Those two ended up becoming nothing so quickly, and the last thing I heard from Pat was that he didn't know what to do with his life anymore. But him saying that to both his mom and I was the wrong crowd to go talking to about that, because we both acted like we'd never heard a thing from him after the divorce. I do hate to see him like this because I still have some feelings for him even after what happened. But soon those will fade away, and I'll no longer be in the pain I was in when with him. Pat was able to pay me the settlement in one lump payment, so I no longer have to worry about it. But I do like to think about how life is for him now. I'm sure it's not going great for him, but I'll never wish that he lives the rest of his life as a low-life loser, so perhaps someday he'll turn things around and find himself another woman. But I want that all happening somewhere that's not even close to me in my new life. As for myself, I was able to find a new job after the divorce and have started a new chapter in my life with a completely new world to live in. I'm not over everything that happened to me then, but I'll say my heart feels a lot more at ease after leaving Pat. And when it comes to Gail, I haven't left her like I left her son, instead often inviting her out to cafes with me so we can chat more. We'll sit down and drink coffee or tea while talking about how things have been recently, like we're both good friends. I may not have ties to Pat anymore, but I'll always keep the ties I have to someone who I can call a friend. And I'm going to make sure, with a friend like her, that the two of us adjust perfectly to this amazing life with no Pat in sight. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.